Is this the real Eddie Murphy or not? Let's talk about it. My name is Brandon Keith Avery, and this is just my opinion. All right, now we have Being Eddie, which is on Netflix for your streaming pleasure. It is rated R, coming in at 1 hour and 43 minutes, being described as biography and documentary. Now, this was directed by Mr. Angus Wall. This is what the gentleman looks like right here. If we scroll down and look at his filmography, he did Temple of Film, 100 Years of the Egyptian Theater. That actually sounds interesting. 30 for 30 Shorts, Corporate Ghost, and Sonic Youth, The Diamond Sea, also has 42 producing credits. If you are a fan of Mr. Angus Wall and all of his work, please let me know down in the comment section below. And also let me know in the comment section, what is your top 3 or top 5 favorite Eddie Murphy movies? So when it comes to my expectations, they were pretty high. I love documentaries. I love Eddie Murphy, and Netflix is up there, pretty popular. They do deliver on their content for the most part. And when I saw the trailer, I did react to it. You can go back and check that out if you like. I was smiling from ear to ear when I was watching it, just saying, okay, it's impossible for this not to be good. And so I was on board from day one. So before I get into all the nitty gritty, before I talk about all my likes and dislikes, if any at all, let me tell you exactly what this Netflix documentary film, Being Eddie, is all about. Follows a comprehensive look at Eddie Murphy's life and career. Pretty self-explanatory. So the first thing that I loved about this documentary is it flew through. It's only 1 hour and 45 minutes. And by the time it ended, I was laughing, having a good time. But I said to myself, wow, it felt like I just started this maybe 30 minutes ago. It has a great tone, it has a great pace. And like I said, there is never a dull moment. I'm also happy to say that I feel like I got a brief outlook on Eddie Murphy's life and career, with more still to come since he's still alive. I mean, the man has been in show business for over 40 years. And so it's kind of hard to condense all of that down in 1 hour and 45-minute documentary. But without them just going too deep, but somewhat personal, I felt like I got a nice buffet of everything. And by the end of it, I was honestly satisfied. Another thing I loved about this documentary is how proud Eddie came across of all of his work, his whole career, his whole filmography, just everything, while also still being humble. Towards the very beginning, he's talked about the large list, the large variety of characters that he's played, and he's played them all. Some raw and raunchy, as you know, in his early career, and then more family friendly towards the end of his career, and then everything in between. And there's pretty much no character that this man has played. I mean, there are, but I mean, he has done everything. If it wasn't obvious to you already, as far as Hollywood is concerned, he is one of the top performers, entertainers that has the largest filmography and or characters that they've played that they can check off a bucket list. Now, the documentary does have a normal structure, with, of course, an intro, them delving into their childhood and personal life, and then leading up to present day. And I feel like this is a Lifetime Achievement Award, or Eddie Murphy's midpoint in his life and his midpoint in his career. And that's kind of funny because he's been in the game for over 40 years and the man is not going to live to 150. But just the way he ended this documentary, I feel like he's saying, okay, hey, I'm not done yet. I still have more to go. And what also surprised me was, towards the end of this documentary, he did speak on a role that he has up and coming. Now, it's very important to me. I am very interested. I don't want to tell you here. I want you to go watch the documentary and find out yourself, because I don't think most people know. Everyone won't be in love with it, but I'm excited about it. Eddie Murphy said himself that he's nervous about it, that it's a tall order and he hopes he measures up to it. I'm paraphrasing just a little bit, but I know the man said he was nervous, or at least hesitant to take on the role. I'm pretty sure he can do it. I'm pretty sure he can knock it out the park, but it will be challenging for him, and I'm here for it. I also didn't know that he really aspires to win an Oscar. Yes, most actors, actresses do want to win an Oscar. Some don't care about it. I'm pretty sure he's like, yeah, I wouldn't mind winning one, but I didn't know that he was so passionate about it, and he's slightly disappointed for it. He even spoke on just like, okay, hey, if I'm not gonna win, don't invite me to this award show. I gotta fly out and wear this tuxedo. If I'm gonna lose, I could have lost at home. You know what I'm saying? Why are y'all wasting my time? And yes, he's an actor. He could be putting on the show right now in the documentary, but it felt real genuine. And to be honest with you, I kind of felt sorry for him because he's well deserved, in my opinion. This man has played a lot of roles. We all know his filmography, but then you go back and you look a little deeper, which this documentary does, going into all the details of all those performances. But yes, The Nutty Professor, it is a comedy. It is silly. It is over the top. But at the same time, all of the work that went in to bring all those characters to life. And of course, they talked about Dream Girls. I mean, we can go down the list. We all know his filmography, but I mean, he is one of the best actors in the game, and he will always be. Does he deserve one? Was he the best that particular year? That's a question I want you to answer in the comment section. But again, I did not know that he was that passionate about it. I also was not aware of his feelings or sentiments with SNL. We all know, or most know, that that was early on in his career for a good amount of time. But then something happened to where it put a sour taste in his mouth. And he didn't go back to SNL for 35 years. Now, that may be obvious to you, and you probably know that story in and out, but it was new to me. And I'm like, wow, okay, I do appreciate this new information. And then it was just a nice cherry on top at the end of this, or how everything circled back around. So again, just more information that I didn't know, and I appreciate that he shared in this documentary. And I just appreciate that in general, when a famous person, a star, or just anybody, just wants to open up about their personal life, let the general audience look into their life, just to say, hey, look at me. This is everything that I have going on over here. You may think this and may think that, but everything is not just all sunshine and rainbows. I'm a human being just like you. They didn't go too deep. It stayed up on the surface just a little bit, but I do appreciate the little tease, the little taste that we got as far as that's concerned. They spent a good amount of time talking about who inspired Eddie Murphy in his younger career, and of course that was Richard Pryor, rest in peace. I was also not aware of how introverted Eddie Murphy was in the public space. He is not necessarily the life of the party. A lot of people make assumptions that comedians, or just stars, entertainers in general, or let's just say comedians, that they're just walking around telling jokes all the time, trying to be funny. Yes, that can be the case with some people. And Eddie did speak on that when he was a child, just wanting to be in show business. But that's not the case with Eddie. He's not necessarily the life of the party. Yes, he's funny and charming and all that when he wants to be, but he just be chilling, minding his own business. And sometimes it can be annoying when people make all these assumptions about him as well. And he doesn't like to consider himself as a comedian. He says, no, I am an artist that knows how to express myself, that knows how to express my many different talents in many different ways. And I do agree with him there. He is a comic, he is an actor, he is a musician. We can go down the list, but I think that's a fair assessment, or I like the way he summed it up. Now, I posed a question in the intro part of this review asking, is this the real Eddie or not? And I'm serious. If you watch the documentary, I want you to answer that question in the comments section below and letting me know your opinion. And the reason why I say this is, I saw a side of Eddie Murphy that I've never seen before. One reason in particular is the way that he was laughing from beginning to end in this documentary. I've never heard Eddie Murphy laugh like that before, and I found it fascinating. We all know the famous Eddie Murphy laugh, Yes, I know that sucks. I cannot do it. That was not the laugh that he was using in this documentary. It was a completely different laugh, like I said, that I've never seen before. And I was like, wow, is this the real Eddie? Okay, I appreciate that. I'm loving this. I'm soaking it in. But I was like, wait a minute. This is a world-class performer, actor, entertainer, okay? This is what he does. This is his profession. He's the best in the world. One of the best in Hollywood that has ever done it. Is this a new character? Is this a persona that he's putting on for us right now? It's entertaining and I love it. Or is this the real Eddie, being Eddie? I didn't even mean to do that. And so I don't know, is this the real Eddie or is it a persona, another character? Let me know down in the comment section. But again, I was entertained by it. Something that did surprise me a lot was the inclusion of his brother, Charlie Murphy, and all of his other siblings. I don't know about Eddie Murphy's biological parents getting divorced, and how his stepdad was a boxer, and how his biological father was killed. And he spoke light of it, even though it was a somewhat serious situation. And that's just maybe the way he's dealing with it, the way he's coping. But I'm just like, man, seeing all of this, these stories, hearing about it, and how it shaped Eddie into the man that we know today was quite interesting and eye-opening as well. But when Charlie Murphy came on the screen, I was like, oh my gosh, it's Charlie Murphy. And one of the reasons I was surprised, it felt like they recorded Charlie like last year or 6 months ago. Now, he did pass away in 2017. Rest in peace, my brother. He will always be missed. I know, of course, Eddie does, and he did expound on that. But it just felt real, like Charlie was alive today. Oh, now, of course, they did go back and talk about the Dave Chappelle show, and we'll get to Dave Chappelle in this documentary. in just a second. And that did feel like a recap, and that's no shade. And the Dave Chappelle, Charlie Murphy moments did feel nostalgic, but it was the actual interview portion to where I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that Charlie is dead. It feels like he's alive right now. And the second time that Eddie Murphy spoke about his brother Charlie in this doc, I did get emotional because I have a younger brother as well. And he was just talking about past memories that he has with his brother. And then when they do pop up at certain moments in his life, how he deals with it. Sometimes he wants to deal with the memory, sometimes he doesn't, and just wants it to go away. And I'm just like, man, that just really sucks. Tomorrow's not promised for anybody. And I was just thinking like, what would I do if I lost my brother or just a loved one? And, I don't know. It just really touched me. And I just wasn't expecting to get emotional when I was watching this. The cast was great in this. Of course, it just wasn't Charlie Murphy or past videos and footage of him and Eddie Murphy. We had Jamie Foxx, Tracy Morgan, Pete Davidson, Kevin Hart, Chris Rock, John Landis, Jerry Bruckheimer, Jerry Seinfeld, Kenan Thomas, Tracy Ellis Ross, Dave Chappelle, Arsenio Hall. You can see the list right here. And everybody was great. Everyone contributed a lovely amount of energy. And I loved how everybody just revered Eddie Murphy, especially Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle is a legend in itself, in my opinion. I wouldn't say as big as Eddie Murphy, and I'm not trying to pit these two against each other, but as big as Dave Chappelle is to me, and to see how much passion was in Dave's eyes throughout this whole documentary as he was talking about his friend, his buddy, his colleague, Eddie Murphy, was very, very telling on just how big of an impact Eddie Murphy had on his life. I mean, he truly respected that brother right there. I mean, my goodness gracious. I have never seen Dave Chappelle in this state of mind ever. You may not be as blown away as I am, but I was a bit shook of, to be honest with you. So respect to you, Dave Chappelle, for giving Eddie Murphy the amount of flowers that you did in this doc. Also, Arsenio Hall and Kevin Hart. I love I loved everybody's energy. Jamie Foxx too, but the love and respect that they were able to give Eddie right here was just like, oh my goodness gracious. I loved it. Want to see more of it. I also remember Michael B. Jordan talking about this a number of years ago when he was up and coming and everybody's like, okay, hey, are you the next Denzel? Are you the next Forrest Whitaker? Are you the next, et cetera, et cetera? And he's like, why can't it be, all of us at the top of the mountain? Why are you trying to get one to replace other? It can only be one, And Eddie Murphy talked about that too. Like, hey, are you going to be the next Richard Pryor? It's like, no, you have Richard Pryor and then you also have Eddie Murphy as well. It can be more than one. And actually, Arsenio Hall spoke on that a lot, and I do appreciate that too. Very, very great, dope discussion, in my opinion. Another part that I did love was in the 90s when he did Boomerang, and how all of the negative reviews came out because they were like, hey, where's all the white people? We're used to seeing black people as slaves, as servants, doing some type of violence or degeneracy. But no, y'all are over here in corporate America running banks and businesses and infrastructure and yada, yada. Where are all the white people? And Boomerang is actually one of my favorite movies for that because there's no struggle. It's just black people living regular lives like we always do. And the director of that, I think it was Reginald Hudlin, and he was in this as well. Like just their commentary around that whole movement, that whole point in time in their life, even though it was brief in this documentary, was a highlight for me. And yes, that was directed by brother Reginald Hudlin. He was in this documentary as well, and I loved everything that he had to say too. There was a part towards the end, I think this was unintentionally funny. It may not be funny to you guys, but it was hilarious to me. I'm just gonna say ventriloquist dummies. I was laughing my butt off with that right there. But guys, this is a great documentary on Netflix. If you are a fan of Eddie Murphy, please check it out if you get the chance. It is worth your while, and I just want more from Eddie Murphy. I'm really looking forward to all the projects that he has coming up with next. And yeah, man, I'm just glad this man is still here. He talked about that, and some of his upcoming projects is Shrek 5, The Pink Panther, and Players Ball. I think Players Ball may be the role that he was speaking of. I already clicked it and there's nothing there. But Eddie Murphy, you're a genius, man. Love you to death. Thank you so much for providing such great entertainment for 40 plus years. You are in the Hall of Fame, my brother, in my opinion. Guys, it's a great documentary. If I had to rate it out of a 1 out of 10, I'll give it a 9.5 out of 10. Yes, a 9.5 out of 10. Check out all my other videos. And before you go, don't forget that I'm B. Avery. That's just my opinion. Peace, and I'll see you next time.